What's up, America? It's your girl bringing you some news you can use. We are live at the number one internet radio station, IntellectualRadio.com, which is the iHeart radio station. You can catch us locally, nationally, or internationally. My goal today is to inform, educate, entertain, and inspire. Do you have the drive, the vision, the creativity? Are you willing to take risks? It's time to light a fire within you. And today we have an amazing guest. He's going to share his story. I know it's going to spark a fire in someone who's listening today. Remember, you can catch us locally, nationally, internationally. You can also catch us on Instagram, Facebook Live, and YouTube. So please do me a favor and share the broadcast. We're going to be sharing information, giving introspection, and most of all, providing some inspiration today. So I have a guest. He's going to talk to us about our finances. Do we have our finances in order? I know some of y'all say yeah, some of y'all say no. Well, we're going to talk about that today, and he's going to be sharing some tips and tools on how you can get your finances in order today. Remember, we've been talking about this since the end of 2018. If your bank account is looking the same way it did in 2018, December 31st, it's called insanity. You're doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same results. You have to do something differently. And here on my platform, my goal is to educate, inform. So please share the broadcast. Get ready. We're about to get this show started. The beginning of today's show is sponsored by no other than, who is it sponsored by, Alicia?
Krispy Kreme?
Krispy Kremes. Their goal is to make the most awesome donuts on the planet. They have been with us since, I want to say, January of 2019. They have 3 locations. You can go to krispykreme.com. Their location is in Homewood, 17815 South Hoster Street. They have a second location in Evergreen Park, 9150 Southwestern Avenue. And their newest location is right here in Hillside, where we picked up our donuts today. We have donuts here at Intellectual Radio every Tuesday, compliments of Krispy Kreme. And they're at 110 South Manhattan Road. And I must say, today there was not a line. Usually when I go through the drive-thru, there is a line. So today there was not a line. So we have a couple of bills to pay. When we come back, we're going to have our special guest join us here live in the studio. So don't go nowhere. You're tuned into IntellectualRadio.com, which is an iHeart radio station. Download the app. You can catch us anywhere. Be back in a moment. So don't go anywhere.
Painting perfect pictures like colorful scripts. Don't blame me.
Hi, my name is Tina Olivia Pay. Listen to Making Waves with Miss Darci on IR and iHeart radio station, Tuesday and Thursday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. We love you, Miss Darci.
Hey, this is Lenny Williams, and I enjoy listening to IntellectualRadio.com and Making Waves with Miss Darci.
Are bill collectors calling you? Are you afraid to enter? Afraid of lawsuits, garnishments, losing your apartment, house, or car? Then call us for your debt relief options. I'm attorney Peter Francis Geraci. Chapter 7 or 13 can relieve the debt pressure. Call us now for a free phone mini consultation or log on to infotapes.com. We're the law firm you trust to get you out of debt.
1-800-401-4010. American Express for travel and entertainment worldwide.
Just show them this, the American Express card.
Don't leave home without it.
Well, someday, I may even use it on the moon. It's a marvelous thing.
Oh! So you can replace plane tickets, traveler's checks, a lost card.
Really? That worked?
American Express's timeless safety and security are available on Apple Pay. The next evolution of membership is here.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, Making Waves with Ms. Darci, we broadcast right here at Intellectual Radio. Not sure. I think we might be the only show that's here every Tuesday and Thursday, starting at 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. We've been here for a number of years, sharing information on 7 streams of income. The Bible talks about 8, but if we could just get to 7, we'll be doing some amazing things. So today I'm challenging you to walk in your dopeness. Do something different today to increase your finances, which is what we're talking about today. I can always use some tips and tools on how to increase my finances. And today I have a gentleman sitting to the right of me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself to you all today.
Hello, Miss Darcy, and thank you for having me here today. My name is Dennis Brown.
Welcome, Dennis. So before we get started, if today is your birthday, happy birthday to you. And I'm going to put Alicia on the spot and have her sing a birthday wish to anybody that's celebrating their birthday today.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
I told y'all her voice is amazing. Every
Awesome.
time she sing happy birthday, I've been thinking it's my birthday all over again, but not with the age increasing. So, we talked about last week, we were going to discuss the book, The One Thing, The Surprising Simple Truth Behind Extraordinary Results by author Gary Keller, Kellar. I wasn't able to find the book, but someone is reserving it for me this weekend, and I will be picking it up. I've been sick since last Thursday with this doggone migraine, you guys. So please keep me in your prayers. Migraine is not a headache. Literally, today is my first day out of the house. Literally, today is my first day out of the house since last Thursday when I was here. So it has subsided. So the pain is not throbbing like a hammer. But I pray that I am relieved from these migraines because they're no joke. But in the studio, we're not here to talk about me today, but I just want to say that to you guys. And happy belated Mother's Day. If you all were celebrating Mother's Day, happy belated Mother's Days to you. My goal is to do 1,000 stories on amazing people in Chicago, Illinois. And we have some amazing people. So Dennis Brown is a native of Chicago, and he went to Manley High School. He is a dad and a wife. And I want to, just before we get started, he's a retired police officer. I just want to talk about, first of all, his hobbies. What were your hobbies growing up as a young person, Dennis?
I enjoy basketball, baseball, bowling, and football.
And he's a football fanatic, not a fan of whatever's past the fan. The Chicago Bears, license plates, all kind of paraphernalia he loves. What do you love about the Chicago Bears?
The passion of being a Bear fan. It started with my dad. So my dad made me the Bear fan that I am today.
And how did that happen? Because he's in the cold at the games in the cold.
It happened because my father and I always disagree on some of the things with the team.
Okay.
And we would make these side bets.
Okay.
And I would say the Bears are going to do this or the Bears were going to do that. And he was like, oh, they're nothing. So I would always hope that they would win during the times when they were losing. And then when they did, it just gave me that enthusiasm to keep going and rooting for them. Till today, I'm a Bear fan. My family, they're Bear fans. And it's almost like a prerequisite to be a Bear fan in my household.
So where do you see the Bears at this fall?
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. You heard it here. The Bears Super Bowl. All right. Let's see who's going to have some side bets on that. Let me know. Inbox us right now. So tell us, Dennis, I know you bowl. How is bowling for you?
Bowling has gotten better. I enjoy bowling a lot. As a matter of fact, tomorrow morning, I'll be joining another summer league here at Hillside Bowl. So bowling is like that second passion outside of the family and the Bears.
So how did you get into bowling? I think that's a very abstract sport for a teenager to get into. So how did you get into it?
I got into it in high school. It was the one sport that allowed me to help my family out with working and bowling, because at the time I was trying to play football, but it required too much of my time. So bowling was just one day out the week, which was Thursday back in 1980 something. I won't tell you exactly, but it was in the 80s. But no, it was wrong. 1981 and 82. So that allowed me just to concentrate on doing something with my extra time, but at the same time, it allowed me to work. So that's where it started back in high school.
Okay, so in high school, did you ever compete competitively in high school?
For bowling?
Yes.
Yes, I was a captain of the bowling team. So it gave me that drive to want to compete more and more. So that's what I'm looking forward to. One day I hope to find myself bowling in a tournament where I can get paid for money for bowling with the professionals.
Oh, I can show you how to do that. I did that for some years.
Well, then I'm going to
Went
take
on
your
a
advice.
tour.
Show
Went
me.
on a tour. It was a lot of fun. Cincinnati, Vegas. Trying to think. I think I was on a league. I was bowling for 7 days a week, literally. I was the only left-hander. I think we had 5 left-handers at Hillside Bowls, a 40-week bowling, and we went on a vacation league, and we had the whole house. And I bowled I probably bowled there for 10 or 15 years, and I loved it. I loved it. I loved playing the pots, won money, met people, and traveled. So it was a lot of fun.
So
Haven't did it in a while, but it was a lot of fun.
Those left-handed bowlers have an advantage over the right-handed bowlers.
Yeah.
They get to basically control that lane all night by themselves.
It's
So
on the
that's a
gutter.
plus. It's a plus.
Yeah, it's a
I
lot
don't
of
hate. It's a
fun.
plus.
It's a lot of fun.
Really, I didn't know that. I bowl right-handed, so I didn't know that. Like,
See.
but it does feel off. Like I feel like if I learned how to do it left-handed, it would have been different.
It would have been different.
Yeah, it's not a lot. It's not a lot of left-hander boulders.
Not
It's
at
more
all.
right, and so the right-handers take up more of the oil instantly. So then you have to adjust.
We have more adjustments to make.
Oh, I see. See,
It's
these are things
interesting.
I don't know. I just
See?
bowl for fun.
Learn something new every day. So tell us about your apprenticeship program. I understand that you were in an apprenticeship program. Tell us a little bit about that.
That was an apprenticeship program years ago when I was working at the hospital for plumbing as well as maintenance. And that was part of my aspiration. I had a few dreams that I wanted back in the day. I wasn't sure if I was going to be that attorney or if I was going to be that electrician or that plumber. So it was just giving me the opportunity to look at various career opportunities. And I started doing that when I was at the hospital prior to becoming a Chicago police officer.
23 years, Chicago police officer. Tell us about those awards you received as a police officer and how you helped the community.
Most of those awards were, like you just said, community-based awards with helping the community, helping the kids. I think that's very important. And a lot of times as police officers, you don't get that credit that most police officers do an excellent job with the community. And just like most places, you're going to have a few bad apples, but it goes unnoticed, the passion that a lot of them have for the community. And that's basically what it was, where at that time I implemented a few sporting programs for some of the kids in some of the undesirable neighborhoods and taught some of the kids archery, soccer, bowling, football, flag football. And it was a program where every 8 weeks we would convert it to something else, some type of other sport to do. And that's basically how those awards became what they became for me with the police department.
But now you have a passion for finance. Finances, cha-ching. So all
Money.
of that brought you to where you are today. So tell us about the financial industry and how it could help me, Alicia, everyone here at the studio, as well as our listening audience.
I think it's important to kind of like talk about how I ended up here. And how I ended up here, really, I never really had the aspiration of wanting to get into the financial world as far as being an advisor or an educator. But about 8 years ago, I lost my dad. And prior to his death, he would always talk about this huge life insurance policy that we were going to get. So upon his death, my oldest brother had reached out to me to tell me that we had to contribute towards his headstone. And I was devastated with that news. Like, what are you talking about? We don't have this money that he's been telling me about since I was a teenager. Well, needless to say, when we didn't get it, I was a little curious as to why. So I started asking questions with various people in the industry. Some of the answers that I received were conflicting, and it made me want to do my own research. So as I began to do that research, I found out a lot of more information than what I bargained for, what I was actually looking for. And at that time, I was still working with the police department. And I guess most of the true education came upon my retirement from the police department. They really started talking about retirement plans. So at the same time, I had just retired, and now I'm learning about the retirement industry. And
You get this big lump sum of money, and it's like, wow, I'm rich now. I could just really live the life, right, Dennis?
Of course not. That's probably one of the biggest fabrications you'll probably ever hear when it pertains to retirement. So from that point on, it was just like I was shocked with the reality of it. So I tried to do my best to go back and talk to some of my former coworkers that I knew that were going to retire behind me, as well as re-educate my family on what I've learned. So that's how I ended up here as a retirement person. I won't say specialist because we have to be kind of like cautious of what we call ourselves.
Right, the word.
But for me, I just love educating people in the field.
Okay, you heard it here. So this is something that individuals, if you're considering retirement, thinking you're going to get this one lump sum of money and that you're set for life, you have to do your homework. It's going to let you know that that's not always the case. And you see now today, he brought up 8 years ago, which is where it put him here, the death of his father. And a lot of people think that because they have an insurance policy, that they're set. Right? You have to read the terms and conditions of those policies because they're not always what it appears to be. And a lot of us don't even have an insurance policy. And then we're on social media doing a GoFundMe because we don't have an insurance policy, but we find ways to get the newest cars, these elaborate houses, these $800 purses, and just live the life. And there's nothing wrong with that. So make sure I'm letting you know there's nothing wrong with that, but you need to have your affairs in order. So we're going to take a pause for a cause and come back and just have Dennis elaborate. If you have questions for him about the financial industry, you can give us a call. When we go to break, Alicia will give you the number to call. And then she also has an event that I sent to her that she's going to read for you for individuals who would like to participate in the senior walkathon. And then she'll give you the number to call.
Okay, so the number to call in is 708-223-8953. So if you have any questions for Dennis about the financial industry, please call in and let us hear your thoughts at 708-223-8953. And if you would like to participate in the senior walk for HBCUS, that will be hosted on Friday, May 24th at 1 p.m. at 33 West 35th Street, Chicago, Illinois.
Right. We'll be back in a moment. Stay tuned.
IntellectualRadio.com.
First anniversary of our revolutionary acne treatment. To celebrate, we have an amazing new offer for you. Order Proactive Plus, and for a special limited time, you'll pay just $19.95. Imagine yourself with skin so clear and beautiful, you feel confident to go after all the things you want. Make it happen today with Proactive Plus.
That's a huge difference. Look at that. Proactive Plus makes me feel amazingly beautiful.
Proactive Plus is dermatologist developed to help seek out and fix problem areas on your skin. And it's proven to work 4 times faster than the leading prescription.
This product is doing it. I started seeing results with Proactive Plus within the first week.
Now's the best time ever to order because we're offering extra savings to first-time customers. Call 1-800-773-5681 to get our 3-step system plus free gifts and free shipping. All just $19.95.
I use Proactive Plus every day. Like, I literally use this stuff.
These 100% beef burgers are stacked with bacon, sweet bourbon sauce, and apparently my mom's fave, spicy sriracha sauce. Eat it. Don't tweet it, Mom.
Denny's Big Burger Bash, with burgers starting at $6.99. Denny's, come to America's Diner.
Good morning. What can I get for you?
A medium hot coffee, cream and 2 sugars, please.
Medium hot coffee, cream, 2 sugars. Sounds good.
At Dunkin', we make your coffee just the way you like it. If not, we'll make it again, on the spot. That's the DD commitment America runs on Dunkin'.
Good morning. What can I get for you?
A medium hot coffee, cream and 2 sugars, please.
Medium hot coffee, cream, 2 sugars. Sounds good.
At Dunkin', we make your coffee just the way you like it. If not, we'll make it again, on the spot. That's the DD commitment America runs on Dunkin'.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, Making Waves, Miss Darci, IntellectualRadio.com, which is the iHeart radio station. You can catch us locally, nationally, internationally. Today, we're talking with Dennis Brown, and he's sharing with us his story, and hopefully that his story will inspire someone else to make a change, do something different, go after your dreams and pursue it. 8 years later is where he is, that brought him where he is today. And we're talking about our finances, and he's going to share with us some of the pros and cons of the insurance industry, why we need insurance, not just life insurance, but health insurance. We also need automobile insurance, and we need an array of insurance. But most of all, are we prepared when someone in our family or loved one dies? Do we have the insurance that we need and know that is sufficient? And have we done our homework, Dennis?
Some of the pros and cons of the insurance industry from what I've experienced since retirement. I think one of the biggest things is that a lot of times when we invest with our jobs, we're not told that that money that we're investing with is actually going to an insurance company. It sounds as if we are doing something special or something unique, when in all actuality, behind closed doors, that's just basically what the corporations are doing. And I'll give this example. Basically, when I was with the Chicago Police Department, we had two retirement plans. We had one, which was the pension, as well as a deferred compensation plan. And both of those plans were attached to insurance companies. Now, here I am 23 years sending my money without knowing it. This is exactly what I was doing. So then as I got into the industry, I learned that there is a huge insurance plan on me as a retired police officer.
But not for you and your family?
Not for me and my family. I'm paid from what they call the cash value or that cash value insurance policy as a pension. But there is a death benefit that goes with that.
So you're saying it's more going to the job than to your family?
Oh, it will. What happens is when you retire and you have a pension assigned to you from that point on, you get a certain percentage of what you work for. Upon my death, my wife, should I die before she does, she'll get half of my pension. But then there's that death benefit that no one really talks about, because a pension is nothing but an insurance policy, or they may give it a term of an annuity. So basically, there will be millions sent out to the city upon my death. Yes, millions, because in order to fund a person's pension, a corporation has to use what is called a cash value life insurance policy. So that's one of the biggest secrets that I was able to be taught while I was in this industry. So to me, that's one of the biggest cons is out there.
So how do people find out about this? How do people, I know they got to do their homework. They have to read the fine print. How would they know? Other than contacting you, how would they know?
Most of the people don't know. When you're told what to do at work, you're really not told that the true benefits the corporation. You're not. So you hear it's almost like the blind leading the blind. Most people will say that this is a good thing to put your money into. This is something excellent. But at the end of the day, it's just something dealing with insurance.
Wow. The more knowledge we have, the more powerful we become.
And that's important, because I always say, or you always hear people say that knowledge is powerful.
Yeah.
I say that knowledge is wealth, and wealth is powerful. I've seen a lot of educated, knowledgeable people with no power, but I have yet to see a person with wealth without power. That's just my philosophy.
Wow.
So what would you recommend for people who are listening, who are paying into their pension or are paying into a insurance policy for their future? What would you recommend them doing to avoid all of their hard-earned money being sent back to their corporations?
Yeah, each situation is somewhat individualized. So my thing is, you got to do your homework as well. You got to know what your goals are, or what your plans are. And then you need to reevaluate basically what you're doing with your money. You got to have an understanding of where it's going and how it's really working for you, or is it working for you, or is it really working for the corporation? And unfortunately, too many times it's really working more for the corporations than it is for yourself. So let's just take, for example, upon my retirement, I was able to retrieve the funds from what we had, which was a deferred compensation plan. So a lot of times people have no knowledge that this particular plan has been held with deferred payments or deferred taxes until you are able to withdraw the monies from them. Then all of a sudden you're hit with this huge tax increase upon receiving your funds. So my philosophy, once again, is should you find yourself being a little bit older in life and now you want to go and retrieve the money, you're now in a higher tax bracket than what you were before you were working. Now you're older, so it's going to put you in a bad situation. But a lot of times they don't address it that way.
So are people able to bypass the pension and bypass like an insurance plan for their future and actually just save themselves without having to pay the taxes, which the tax they would pay is when they first got their paycheck in the first place.
I mean, you can bypass it, but there's a pro and a con to bypassing the pension as well. So one of the things I try to tell individuals is, in addition to, why don't you just do the same thing that they're doing to you? Why don't you just do it for yourself and understand how it actually works based upon what they're doing for themselves and you. So now eliminate the middleman with your next opportunity to secure your future. So do it yourself.
Don't you find that individuals say, oh, wait a minute, Dennis. No, my money is secure. I've been at my job for 30 years. I'm getting ready to retire. So what you're talking about is foreign. And so I don't think that's true.
I agree with that. I mean, a lot of times, just the word insurance by itself in our community, and it's just a fact, it sounds like it's something synonymous with something abhorrent when you mention the word insurance. So this is why I ask people sometimes at my seminars, it's like, if you had a chance to go to a retirement seminar or a life insurance seminar, which one would you go to? And most of the times they raise their hands and say, hey, I'll go to the retirement seminar. And then I'll reiterate, well, you can't go to a retirement seminar without actually going to a life insurance seminar, because these products actually come from life insurance companies.
So I know when you say knowledge is power, lack of knowledge, lack of wealth, our generation, our minorities, we're the ones that need this information, but we think we have all of this time, or we think, oh no, that's foreign. No, that's not true. But we won't do our homework to find out, why do you think our generation or our nationality deals with that on such a high level?
I think because of the way it's been presented towards us. I think the information that a lot of us get is something that we don't want. And what I mean by something we don't want, when I say that if you hear the word life insurance, it makes you run, correct? Yeah. Because in our community, most of the times it deals with death insurance. Well, there's a difference. There's life insurance and then there's death insurance. Death insurance requires you to die within a certain period of time in order to benefit from that particular policy. Life insurance gives you the opportunity to enjoy your life while you are alive. And then upon that untimely death, you're able to leave something for your family as well. And if a lot of people truly understood the true components of life insurance, we would truly understand that this is really how McDonald's was started. Walt Disney used life insurance to create Walt Disneyland that most of us want to go to. J.C. Penney took money from his life insurance policy to get started with J.C. Penney's. So my thing is, if it's good for those individuals to become billionaires, why is it not good for us in our community?
That's why we just started. We said we're going to start reading. Reading is so fundamental, and people don't understand that comes from knowledge. That's how you learn. We have all of these resources today where we can Google something, we can Bing it, we can Yahoo, we can go to the library. All this information is available. It wasn't available like it is now. So I just don't understand why we don't take advantage of the information. I want to use Alicia Dennis as an example. Okay. Alicia's 24 years old.
24.
If she started right now with a life insurance policy from her job, she just graduated from Illinois Media School, she's working. She's working two jobs. She's working a full-time job, and she works for me part-time.
Well,
so good. What recommendation? Let's use her an example. If she started life insurance policy for herself right now.
Well, the first thing I would ask Alicia is basically looking at her financial situation. I would ask her, what is it that you believe that you can put away every month comfortably, every month? And I would say, we'll pick a term. We'll say whether you want to do it for 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years. And that would be the structure in which I would try to structure you with, basically, right? And then once you give me that amount, then we'll know exactly what we're doing with that. But during that time, you will know that at the end of whatever time frame you chose, now that policy is paid for you. No more money is needed.
Is it the longer the policy, the more expensive the policy?
Not necessarily. Sometimes the longer the policy, the cheaper it becomes because you're paying into it for so many years. And the opposite of that is if you bought a plan that is somewhat, let's say 5 years, it's going to cost you a little bit more because you are now covering more in a shorter period of time.
So, let's do me for an example. So I'm a couple of years older than Alicia.
Just a few.
Just a few.
Just a few.
So, if I was to get a 10 or a 20,
yes,
I know it would depend on your health issues, your age. What else would it depend on?
Basically, those two will be two of the major factors. And then one of the other things a lot of us don't really understand is that if you file bankruptcy, you may not be eligible to get a life insurance
Haven't
policy.
did that.
If you have a felony, you may be disqualified
Ooh,
from
I don't have that.
getting a life insurance policy. So if you don't have those two issues
No,
going
I
up
don't have
against
those
you
yet,
and
thank
you are
God.
in relatively good health, then basically you will be issued a life insurance policy.
What about individuals who have a pre-existing condition?
It depends on the severity of those conditions.
Okay.
There are those policies that are out there for individuals that have pre-existing conditions. And then there may be some stipulations that say, well, we have to make sure that that existing condition doesn't cause you to die within the next 2 years. We'll honor that policy. And if for whatever reason it does, then we'll just give your family back the money that you put into this policy over the last 2 years.
So if I wanted to get a quote for the difference between a 5-year, 10 or 20 for myself, and so I don't have a felony and I don't have bankruptcy, so then you would sit down and break it down to me what the term would be, what the amount would be in different type of policies, correct?
Correct. There are so many of them out there, and you got to be somewhat educated on how most of those work. Because like I said earlier, my father had one that he believed that was going to be there upon him getting older. So what happened was this particular policy increased in premium the older he got. So my father reached around 70. That insurance policy increased to around $1,600 a month. So what then happened was most of the money over those next 10 years increased and ate up the funds in the policy just to fund that particular policy.
Wow.
So that's why that policy wasn't there. So what can a person in their 70s do with a bill that's like $1,800 a month? You're just going to let it go.
Yeah, because there's no way you're going to be able to do that. And then don't they have policies? Because I'm trying to do my homework on insurance, which I don't know. I know I got a couple, and they probably ain't even doing what I think they're doing, but I'm invested now. But isn't there some that have where you could cash out? But I know there's some terms and conditions to go along with that.
Yeah, that's one of the ones I was talking about. That's like a cash value policy. That particular policy pays dividends to you, which is what I often tell individuals. If you're going to have a long-term policy, you want one that's going to benefit you more as opposed to giving those dividends back to the companies. You want that particular policy to be a cash value policy for you.
And that's a little bit higher, though.
It's a little bit higher.
Because you're getting dividends.
It's a little bit higher, but in the long run, it has a guarantee. It has the security of knowing that this is going to be here regardless of how old I am.
So, okay, going back to, because you were saying that Walt Disney and other major corporations dipped into their life insurance policy to start their business up. So what type of policies did they have where they were allowed to dip into their funds to start a business up?
A cash value life insurance policy.
Okay, so would you recommend that over other types, or is it depending on the individual?
It's one of the better ones out there. It's one of the ones that I would often tell people to start looking at initially. And then from there, you will have the opportunity to look at all of them. So it's like, let's just lay everything here on the line so where you can see all of these different policies. I say that also because there was a situation that took place back in 2016. One of the last acts of this gentleman by the name of Barack Obama. Some of you may have heard of him. You know, he's a good man
sounds
from over
familiar.
here, right? Just a little familiar.
Just a little bit.
What he did was he implemented the Department of Labor ruling. What this ruling would have done was force financial advisors to work in the best interests of the client as opposed to the best interests of the financial advisor. And one of the things that happened once that was implemented, and the first act of the following president, whose name I won't say, he rescinded that act. So now it's basically like business as usual, whereas the recommendations sometimes that you will receive from certain individuals, not all, but just certain individuals, may not be of the best interest of the client.
So, okay, with that being said, I think this is, and it's not necessarily, it's more politically related because I've heard a lot of things about Obama, and I'm more of a Obama fan than not. But a lot of people were saying that Obama got in office and did nothing to help the African American community. So, do you feel like that is just kind of a rumor that people spread because it didn't uh, have the African American community overflooding with wealth, or was he trying to implement programs such as the one we were just talking about to help people, especially we were talking about, because I do feel like a lot of the African American community is financially not literate or illiterate. Yes, there we go. Illiterate.
Sure.
So do you feel like something with having an advisor that would work for the better benefit and forcing them to have the better benefit is actually a benefit to the African American community?
I believe so. And I believe that act alone was one of the things that he just couldn't come out and say that was really going to help the African American community. So he did it in a way of just saying, I'm going to implement this particular this law where you are now obligated. So let's say had you sat down with me at one point as a financial advisor, my obligation would have been to show you all the products that I had available to you. And prior to you exiting from that interview with me, you would have to sign off saying you believe that I showed you everything that was in the best interest of you. Now, should you have come back later on and found out that what I showed you was not in the best interest of you, now you have a chance to, I guess, sue me. I am now legally held responsible for not putting you in the best situation. So for me, I believe that was one of the greatest acts that he tried to do. And he just couldn't come out and just say, in this industry, a lot of times African Americans are taken advantage of. None. And I'm saying it's not just from being in the field, but based upon the experience of what I saw with what happened to my dad. And to be honest with you, since I've been here, one of the things that I realized that it was going to happen to me again. It was going to happen to me and my family. So then one of the things I would do is go out and ask some of the friends of mine to help me out with studying for learning the insurance policies and being able to read them. I would say, well, listen, let me just take a look at your policy. Let me see what you have. And unfortunately, those are some of the policies that are in our community more often than not.
Yeah. So I'm going to challenge me. I've went to some of his seminars, learned a lot of information. As most people, we get the information and we let it sit. We procrastinate and say, okay, we'll make an appointment. I'm really close to Dennis now, so I'm gonna make an appointment. I ain't made an appointment yet, right? So here is the opportunity for your individuals to contact Dennis Brown just to sit down for a consultation. If you don't want to bring the policies you currently have, maybe you can see what's out there so that you can know. We need to be knowledgeable of what's going on in our finances before it's too late and we're on social media doing a GoFundMe for our close members of our family. We don't want that, because just because you go and start a GoFundMe doesn't mean you're gonna get the money to bury your family member. And a lot of people don't end up getting buried because of this reason. So I admonish everyone that's listening to this platform right now to please share the broadcast, because I know you know someone who don't have their finances in order. And I'm going to challenge me and Alicia to just make an appointment with Mr. Dennis Brown and just see what he can do for us. And then we'll come back and share that information with you. We're going to also have him come back if he has come back and share updates with you all on what we've done and how he can be of a service to you and why we decided to do it and what we've learned. And so we're going to take a break. We're going to come back and have him give his closing remarks. We're going to also ask him if there's any workshops he has coming up and how we can get in touch with him, and what piece of advice would he give to individuals who are listening who do not, I repeat, who do not have their finances in order. And there are a lot of us. And you don't have to say it, you don't have to raise your hand, but you know who you are. You're tuned in to IntellectualRadio.com, which is an iHeart radio station. You can catch us locally, nationally, internationally. Please share the broadcast. We'll be back in a moment.
IntellectualRadio.com. Feed your brain.
Feed me now.
Feed your brain.
I'm starving.
It's true.
J Right.
Back, super producer here bouncing to my theme song that was sent to me by one of the rappers. Shout out to you. Everybody loves this beat, so thank you, thank you, thank you. But we're back with the amazing Dennis Brown. He's sharing his story on where he was. He's a bowler. He used to bowl. He still does bowl, and he's a Chicago Bears fanatic fan, shall I say? And he made some drastic changes when it came to his finances. And so he's challenging each and every one of you all who are listening right here on this platform to get your finances in order. Dennis, do you have any workshops coming up or seminars that we can share or post for you today?
I would probably do a seminar right after the 4th of July.
Okay, so stay tuned. He'll get that information to us and we'll make sure we share it with you all. Dennis, how can they get in touch with you if they want to schedule a free consultation with you?
I can be reached on my email, which is brownman1, BROWN, the number 1 at sbcglobal.net.
Okay, so that's Brown, BROWN, the number 1 at sbcglobal.net. Dennis, one question. I know you were an insurance agent and then you went on to get your broker's credentials. And now you're training individuals, you're traveling everywhere, helping individuals understand their financial matters and making sure they protect themselves and their loved ones. Why is that important for you right now in this day and age?
Me personally, why am I doing it?
Yes.
I look at it more of a situation of being in a crusade mindset. And the reason being, once again, is what happened to me. I want to make sure that it really doesn't happen again to people that I know or people that I've come in contact with. And unfortunately, I see where it's about to repeat itself in most households in our community.
Because a lot of people are retiring. They've been on the job 20, 30 years. They may get a buyout, early buyout, and they're not knowing what to do with your finances. Please, people, please do your homework. We're going to have him come back. I want to talk about the urgent need of when you reach retirement. If you have not done your homework, so I'm asking him to come back. It just came to my mind. You have not done your homework, and a lot of industries have created foundations to maneuver their money so they're not taxed on their money. And when I say billion-dollar foundations, I'm talking about Walmart Foundation. I'm talking about what else could I say?
I do believe it's Microsoft.
I think it
was Microsoft.
There's also, I can't even think of the it's one right on the tip of my tongue. I can't even
Amazon.
And these companies, these foundations, did you all know they don't pay any taxes on the billions of dollars they're making because they have a foundation?
That's true.
Well, I also thought it was because they were giving themselves penny checks.
It's more about transferring that money. And so we're going to talk about that. So we will have a part 2. We'll ask Dennis to come back for the part 2, maybe right before his right after the 4th when he has his workshop. He can come in and tell us about that, and we can promote the workshop and do a twofold sometime in July. But people, you really have to get your finances in order. If you don't do it now and don't know what's going on, do your homework, check your job, check with payroll, check with the benefits department, see where your policies are going and how conducive are they to benefit your family, which is the main thing. He just pointed out to us the seriousness of thinking you're getting ready to retire and thinking you have this lump sum of money coming and you really don't. I'm out, like I said, I challenged me and Alicia to make an appointment. And I will make an appointment within the next 2 weeks just to see what's there. And I'll come back and I'll share with you. Alicia, would you do the same thing?
Oh, yeah.
And we'll share with our listening audience, also sharing the importance of doing that along with your 7 streams of income. You can't go wrong because if you have your own, nobody can fire you from that but yourself. And so it's nothing wrong with having a 9 to 5, but you need to have something else on the side with the way society is today. Dennis, I want to thank you. Do you have any closing remarks you would like to share with our listening audience before we close?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you again. And I want to recommend a book that I came across sometime last year. And it is titled Money, Wealth, Life Insurance: How the Wealthy Use Life Insurance as a Tax-Free Personal Bank to Supercharge Their Savings. And this book is written by Jake Thompson. I have no connection with Mr. Thompson, so I don't want anybody to think that I'm here trying to throw in a publicity for Mr. Thompson. But the book is very informative, and it really talks about some of the things that I tried to touch on today. And if I had to write a book, it would basically contain most of these things that are in this book. And that's why I find this book so fascinating.
Do you have a picture of the book?
I do. Here it is.
Hold it up for us.
There you go.
So this is the book. Alicia, I'll take a picture of it. This is the book, and we'll put it on the page when we share the broadcast. So if you don't have that book, get it. I guess I'm gonna have to go and get this book and read this. I told you I bought this. It'll be my 3rd book this month that I bought, and that's like unheard of. But we have to read. I'm telling you, reading is fundamental. We didn't play the game today for the win the $75 cash compliments of American Express, but we will play it on Thursday. I just thought this information you all, my platform, needed to know. We need to be informed, and the money won't go anywhere, but we will have it this Thursday. If you would like to advertise on the show, have a tagline, a commercial, or a video, please hit up me or Alicia or my assistant, Diane King. We'd be more than happy to meet with you and talk about the promos for the month of June. I think we only have one more for May, and we can have your information played during the commercial break. And we will also have it advertised on the social media outlets. Again, I want to thank Dennis Brown for sharing his story. I know just by the hearts and the likes that this information has resonated with you and that you will be obliged to share it with other individuals who you know will benefit. And of course, we will also share it today, this afternoon on other streams of social media platforms. Again, thank you, Dennis Brown, for bringing us this information. We will definitely have him back hopefully sometime in July to talk about that other piece and how that resonates with insurance, because they kind of go hand in hand. And so we'll talk about that in July. So stay tuned for that. Again, thank you for being our guest and embracing our platform today out of your busy schedule. So I hope you guys have been informed today, because I've been informed again. And so please share the broadcast. Thank you all for tuning in to Making Waves with Miss Darci, back on Thursday with another guest who's going to be sharing her story. She was in a car accident last Thursday, and so she'll be back. She'll be coming to our platform this Thursday, and she's someone you should know. So we're featuring individuals that people should know here on our platform. If you have a story you think will resonate with us and that any should be told right here on the show, please inbox me, Alicia, or Diane King. We'd be more than happy to meet with you and get your story out. My goal is to share 1,000 stories today before the end of December 31st. I've did a little over 200. And so my goal, I have a little over 800 to go. So got to do this. We got to do this. And I'm enjoying this. I'm learning every day. And again, thank you. And in closing, build your own dreams, or someone else will hire you to build theirs. And that could be me, Alicia, or Mr. Dennis Brown. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, we're out.
Thank you.
IntellectualRadio.com. Feed your brain.
Feed me now. I'm starving. Colors.
colors, colors. Red rose for my red bone. Though her favorite color's yellow, mellow, like la under blue skies. What she see up in my black eyes? She gazing in them like the hazel, whether she looking at Jesus. Now she drinking on some Grey Goose, like she wanting me to taste too. I said I only drink every blue moon and the moon's white. So that's something that I can't do, but I'll paint you. But no time, green on my mind, and the gold and the silver. I need that brown paper bag money. So many red lights in my life, I'm just waiting on my green to come. That I'm moving so slow, people think I'm drinking purple stuff. I treat my haters like an orange, I peel them off. Pink lemonade for a sunny day in the paintbrush. Let me paint you a picture, like a painter with a paintbrush. My mind is a